Hi guys, this video will be a sort of tutorial on a popular nail design that's out on the net at the moment, and apparently it came out of South Korea, and it's the shattered glass look. So I thought I would give it a try. This is the very first time I'm trying it. It's quite fiddly, but worth it in the end if you've just got an hour or two free and you just want to have a play around with some nail art. Definitely try this. So the equipment you'll need to do this is obviously your base colours. So I've used both black and white. I've just put white on my ring fingers and black on the other. So I used a base coat first, and then just any black and the white. Of course you'll need a top coat, a pair of scissors, and a cuticle cutter for any overlapping cellophane, a little dotter tool. You can improvise if you want. If you don't have certain tools, by all means, just use whatever you can find. That'll do the same job. And I'm using a cuticle pusher. This one's a bit dirty on the end because I use it to stir paints and other nail polishes together. So that's a bit messy, but it still does the job. And of course you'll need whatever colour cellophane you would like. Now I've used this metallic cellophane, which I didn't want to use to start with. I tried to use the sheer cellophane, orange and green, but it didn't show up on the black, so I had some of this on hand. So that's what I've used. And what you do is you cut the cellophane up into what looks like little shards of glass. This is the sheer cellophane I used that didn't turn out. And this is the metallic. You could use either side of the metallic because one side's coloured and the other side's silver. So I've just cut a thin strip from this sheet of cellophane. They're very thin, which is why it works well on your nails. So I put two together, different widths, and you get your scissors and you just cut away at it at an angle. You can cut smaller bits, longer bits, fairly narrow bits, triangular shapes, all sorts of shapes, and they are supposed to resemble shards of glass. So I cut quite a few in very narrow triangular shapes. So you just cut away till you think you have enough, course there's so many different colours of cellophane out there, so you can just have fun with it. You can mix and match the colours, or you can just have an effect of the one colour. It's sort of almost like a mosaic. So I'll just pop them in here so that you can see them better later on. Once I've finished, I'll have some shards left that I can use for another time, and I'll just pop them in these little containers that I bought from a craft shop. So I think you get about a dozen of them for a couple of dollars. They're not very expensive, and they come in handy for all my bits and pieces. Okay, so I'll move this around this side so it's easy for me to grab. Now this is where you need your top coat. I've already done this hand, as you can see. This little bit here fell on my nail upside down, but I thought I'd left it there because it looks quite effective, just with a little bit of silver. And this is what it looks like on the white nail polish. Okay, so let's get started with the design. As I said, you can put a couple of the base coat, then a couple of coats of your base colour. Now you only do one nail at a time, otherwise your top coat will dry and the cellophane won't stick on your nails. So this is a quick dry top coat, which probably isn't a good idea, but it's the only one I've got at the moment. So in this case, you probably want something that's a little bit slower at drying. So I'll do the white nail. Just put a generous amount all over the nail and along the edge. And you can use an orange stick or a toothpick, whatever you've got. I lick the end, or you can use a bit of water if you think that's gross. And I'll just pick up a piece of cellophane and gently place it down on the nail, and working fairly quickly. It is fiddly, but the more you do it, the easier and quicker you get. Sometimes you might get longer bits, and that's where the cuticle cutters come in handy, and you can just, once it's dried a little bit, just trim them off at the edge like so. So again, I'll lick it, turn it around the right way, and just place it down where you like, leaving some space between them all. And pick and choose your pieces, and that's not going to stick. See, it's already drying, so you have to work reasonably quickly, and again that's why you only do one nail at a time. Of course, if you find you need a small piece, you can always cut the size down, and I might just put one on the tip. And I get my dotting tool. It has different size little knobs on the end, and I just carefully and gently make sure the edges are pressed down. And once, after a couple of minutes, once it's dried a little bit more, you just gently press down with your fingers, not too roughly, otherwise you'll get your fingerprints all over your nail. So I won't press that one down just yet. So I'll just go on to the next nail. We'll do the black nail this time, putting plenty of top coat on and making sure you get the free edge. Pick up a piece. These are all, some of them are a bit long. And just place it down. I was trying to find some holographic paper cellophane, but I couldn't find any. Now see, I put this one a little bit too close to this piece over here, and it doesn't look quite as effective. So you want all different size cuts. Here's a real little piece. I'll just put that in the middle there. It's already drying. This top coat is really good, it dries very quickly. Okay, so I'll get my dotting tool and just carefully rolling it over right up to the edges so they're not sticking up. So I think the most tedious part of this is actually cutting out the shards of cellophane. So we've got 2 more nails to do. Just get the edge. And it doesn't want to pick up. There we go. Try not to move it around on the nail too much, because then you get smear marks like I just did. Just trying to find the right size. That's why it's good to cut shorter bits and longer bits. Just pressing that down there, and I think we need a bit of a square bit. That might be too big. And just getting your dotting tool and carefully pressing down the edges and the corners. So I've got one more to do, so I may as well do that. This time I might lay some of the pieces down so it's easier to choose which pieces might be more suitable. So let's get the top coat all over the nail. And across the edge. And quickly pick up some suitable pieces. Of course I'll do the last nail the quickest because I'm getting used to it. So I'm not forgetting this is the first time I've tried this. I think the easier way is to have them spread out on a sheet of paper or your towel or your work surface. And that's that. That's as close as I'll go. Oh, there's one more here. I might just do a little one. No, I think I'll leave it. So, just get the dotting tool again. You can use either side. Just carefully press that all down, just so that you don't forget it lifting up. So now the ones I've done earlier, I can just carefully push down a little bit, just making sure that there's no edges sticking up. This has got a tiny bit of an overlap, so I'll grab this and cut it. And it all seems to be fine. So that's all there is to it. On this side I can see a little bit of lift happening here, so I can either cut that off or try and just get a little bit of the top coat under there and just press that down. So I'll just put the rest of the shards of cellophane in the little container. Because nothing goes to waste, I can use this for another time. And of course I'll be getting some more colours and popping them all in this little container. And of course the big pieces that are left I can use to wrap presents up or for another craft project that I do. So I'll pop those aside. And all that's left to do now is to pop another top coat on. So as you can see, this hand has turned out much better than this one. Of course I'm left-handed, so the right side will be better too. So let's put some top coat on. And you might like to pop a couple of coats on, depending on how thick your top coat is. This one's quite thin, that's why it dries so quickly. So I'll be putting about 2 or 3 coats of this on. And of course using the silver side would make it look like a mirror. Like a shattered mirror. So it's very popular at the moment amongst nail gurus. You can see I'm putting quite a generous amount on. Don't forget to pop some on the free edge of the nail. And lastly, the thumb. So that's all there is to it. Again, it's quite simple, but it's a little bit fiddly, and the most time consuming thing is cutting the shards of cellophane out. But as you can see, it's very effective, and I of course picked green because that's my favourite, or one of my favourite colours at the moment. I just love colour, but I'm tending to gravitate towards green a lot. So I'll probably come back in about 20 minutes or so and put another coat on just before bed. Well, maybe an hour or so before bed. That way you'll give it a chance to dry. So, just so you can see hopefully you can see the green against the orange a bit better. But there is some wonderful coloured cellophane out there. Multicoloured design. Colours would be beautiful, I think. And of course, you can put any base colour down that you would like, and doing that will just make it look totally different. As you can see, the white is just another effect. Some people like the dark background, some people might like a yellow background. these were just $1 each. So when I go out next, I will be buying a few more colours. I wanted to get some red, but they didn't